Today's the day. Welcome me back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexa and welcome. I have been on like a little hiatus. I've been a little bit MIA on this channel. It's actually been like 3 or 4 weeks since I've posted anything, and I'm finally looking to get back into posting some more. I went through a little phase here. I'm finally starting to feel a little bit more like myself. I really kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. Including like I haven't been reading, I haven't been bullet journaling, which I so enjoy. I haven't been making my YouTube videos, which I absolutely love to do. There's so many things. I just fell off the wagon a little bit. On the bright side, when I left the channel, somehow I grew by like almost 50 subscribers. I think I left when it was around like 203, 204, and now it's almost to 250, which is kind of crazy. I think I'm gonna resume posting at least every Saturday. If I can, I will do my best. But anyways, I hope you guys have been doing well. So today I'm actually going to be sharing my 23+ME ancestry results. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do like something like this for a very long time. I did it with my fiance Shawn. We did his 23+ME, he's adopted, and he found out a lot. But yeah, let's go through my 23+ME. Okay, I'm gonna put my phone on the screen right next to me and kind of show you what the app looks like as a whole, and just kind of walk you through what makes up me. So if we go into this part, this is just my ancestry composition as a whole. I'm obviously 100% European. I feel like that's pretty obvious from the way I look, but I did not know that I am 44.3% French and German, and then if I click on that, it actually shows me the regions that I'm from, which is really cool. Down here it says I'm very highly likely Swiss, and specifically the region of Bern, Switzerland. I always knew I was Swiss growing up. I think I have a great-grandma who was literally from Switzerland, so I'm not that surprised to see that on there. I'm also highly likely German, and it gave 6 regions from Germany that my DNA was very similar to. And then also French, which was a little bit of a surprise for me because I did not know that I had any French in me at all. The areas that it showed me though are, one of them is an area that's very close to the border of Switzerland and Germany, and I think a little bit of it used to actually be Germany. The next region that I'm from, it's 24.5% British and Irish, and I knew this as well. This was not much of a surprise for me. I knew I was English for sure. But when I looked at the breakdown of the 24.5%, I was very surprised to see that there were also areas, Jojo, my cat is just like, my cat wants attention all the time, I swear. You're so bad, come on, go lay down and be a cat. But I knew I was definitely English, and I thought I was also a little bit Irish, which I also found out was a likely match. But I did not even consider for a second that I would be Scottish as well, which makes sense as it's right there, right next to England. It showed that my DNA matched to Glasgow and to Edinburgh. So I also am Scottish, which is quite interesting because I never knew that. And then also it said I was Irish, and it gave me 9 regions of Ireland, a lot of Ireland, honestly, and I thought I was like very little Irish, so I was very surprised about that. Next up was Scandinavian. I'm pretty sure I have a great something or other who was from Norway, so that made sense to me. However, when I clicked on Scandinavian to look further into it, it didn't actually have a breakdown of a certain region that I specifically was from, and that could just be because it was so many generations back. They could detect Scandinavian DNA, but they didn't know where from. I'm pretty sure it's from Norway, however they didn't specify. And then my last 15.1% of the Northwestern European, which makes up 90% of my DNA, is just broadly Northwestern European, which means it could be divided among any of those previous, so who knows. This one was extremely surprising to me, the Eastern European. It said I was 7.4% Eastern European. So I had 7.4% Eastern European DNA, and they cannot actually identify specific locations, but these are like the options, I guess, for Eastern Europe. It's Belarus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Russia, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Ukraine. And none of those were detected, but that was extremely surprising to me because I had absolutely no idea that anybody ever was from Eastern Europe. And I was surprised that I actually have more Eastern European in me than I do Scandinavian, because I always identified more with the Scandinavian part. I don't know why. These are a lot of places that I don't know, I wouldn't expect. I almost wish that they would have been able to detect the specific places, because there are so many places listed. It would have been really cool just to see exactly where. But I think it's super interesting either way. I do know, I think on my dad's side, there was somebody, it was like my great-great-grandfather and my great-great-great-grandfather on his side was from Austria, and that's actually not included under Eastern European, but if he actually had come from somewhere else, Austria is not too far off from places like these, I mean, you know? But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So I'm 0.6 a broadly Southern European, which I guess just means the Iberian, Italian, and Balkan peninsulas, as well as the island of Malta. My last one was just 1.1% broadly European. Okay, other than the ancestry composition portion, it also gave some other interesting things. One of my favorites was, this is so interesting to me, I don't really know what it means, but my Neanderthal ancestry, that was a little bit interesting to me. It says, "Hey Alexa, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 70% of other customers." So Neanderthals were prehistoric humans who interbred with modern humans before disappearing around 40,000 years ago. So overall, it says, out of the 7,462 variants we tested, we found 252 variants in my DNA that trace me back to the Neanderthals. Altogether, my Neanderthal ancestry accounts for less than 2% of your DNA. Who would have known? I had no idea I had any Neanderthal in me, but you know, it is what it is. And then it showed me some of the traits that might be in me because of my Neanderthal inheritance. So it says I have one variant associated with generally not feeling angry when hangry, and I feel like that's definitely not true. I definitely do get hangry, but maybe I'm not genetically predisposed to being hangry. It says you have one variant associated with having a worse sense of direction. I feel like that's pretty true. When I don't have a GPS or when I don't know where I am, I generally choose the wrong direction, so that's probably true. It says you have three variants associated with being a better sprinter than distance runner. Very true. I cannot run distance worth crap, but I can sprint for like a little minute. So it says I have two variants associated with being more likely to sweat during a workout. Alright, for Shawn's DNA, his was a little bit different than mine, obviously. He was much more African than I am. So Shawn was actually 88.6% sub-Saharan African, and it breaks that down into lower percentages. So he was actually 74.3% West African, and that broke down into 30% Nigerian, 22.6% Ghanaian, Liberian, and Sierra Leonean, and then 10% Senegambian and Guinean, and then 11.6% just broadly West African. And then included under that sub-Saharan African, he was 11.8% Congolese and Southern East African, and that breaks down into 8.9% Angolian and Congolese, 0.6% Southern East African, and 2.3% broadly Congolese and Southern East African. And then under that sub-Saharan African, he also was 0.7% African hunter-gatherer and 1.8% broadly sub-Saharan African. And for all of these, I've tried looking to see if there were certain like cities or towns or whatever that it's specifically linked to, but I don't think they have that information for areas of Africa as much. I tried looking into it, but I did think that the hunter-gatherer was a little interesting because those are, I guess it's very old DNA, so it's very interesting. And then he was very surprised to find out that he was actually 9.5% European. He had no idea he had any sort of European in him. And it said 8.4% Northwestern European, which breaks down into British and Irish, 3.3%, Scandinavian, 0.4%, and broadly Northwestern European, 4.7%. And then it also said he was Southern European, and he was 0.2% Southern European, and then just broadly European, 0.9%. So overall, he was about 9.5% European, which was very surprising to him. And then last but not least, he is 0.5% Chinese and Southeast Asian, which I thought he would be more Asian, just because I always thought because of the shape of his eyes, just a little bit, that he might have some Asian in him. But I guess he has almost like just 0.5% of Asian in him. But I mean, he is way more diverse than I am, at least, you know what I mean? It says he had 0.8% trace ancestry, so they found traces of certain populations, and those populations were 0.3% North African, 0.2% Indonesian, Thai, and words that I can't pronounce. He was 0.1% Native American, 0.1% Filipino, and 0.1% broadly Western Asian and North African. So yeah, that was kind of like Shawn's DNA. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to stay better about posting every single Saturday at least. I don't know when I'll be back up to 2 days a week. I've just been taking a little bit of a break. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!